Hey everybody, big news in the comic book and movie world.
Yeah, big news. Zack Snyder officially released the very first image of the new Batsuit.
And boy did people lose their shit.
Literally. So, what did you think of the image?
First impressions, I was like, cool image. I right away I was like, Affleck looks jacked, because the last thing I saw him in was Argo, and he's this, skinny little guy. And I'm like, man, he looks huge in this. And there was no hesitation to like, okay, this doesn't look good. But then the more I looked at it, I'm like, those ears are so tiny.
Those ears.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're so tiny. Like, I was like, maybe that's a mistake. And then, because like I'm used to the bigger ears. I'm used to like, I played all of the Arkham games, the Asylum, the City, the Origins. I'm used to being behind a character with real fat, tall ears.
Yeah.
And so seeing the little stubby ears threw me off.
When I first looked at it, I was like, holy crap, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. They're totally going for the short ears, like big, jacked, rips. Nothing like all the other Batmans you're used to. Like, I know he's used to the Arkham Batman, which is more like the traditional Batman. Yeah. And if you're not familiar with the Dark Knight and the Frank Miller's version of the Batman, it's different. Like, it's completely different than anything you've ever seen. And I think it's going to take some getting used to for people that aren't used to it. But like he said, my initial reaction was like, that looks really cool. And just how the image was composed, like very dark and moody, which is very Zack Snyder-esque.
Sad Batman.
Everything's sad. But I really, really liked it. I just am not 100% sold on the movie yet. And I know a lot of people, they saw this image and they completely flip-flopped. They went from, I hate Ben Affleck, this movie's going to be terrible, to like, I'm on board, this is going to be such a great movie.
I never said that. I said from the beginning that I thought it was going to be really good.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's the best. He's my favorite actor. Like,
you bandwagoners.
I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. Like, I really, really want it to be a great movie. Yeah. I'm a huge Batman fan. I don't want a bad Batman movie.
Nobody wishes for a bad Batman movie.
By the way, while we're on topic of a Batman movie, it's actually the sequel to Man of Steel. It's a Superman movie.
Is it?
Based on how everyone's reacting, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the new Batman movie. There might be some other characters.
Yeah, it's Man of Steel 2 or Batman vs. Superman. I don't know if they've got an official title for it yet, but it's just really interesting that obviously Batman's the more interesting character, so he's going to get...
He's also the newer reveal. I mean, we did just see the new revealed, rebooted Superman.
Yeah,
so.
Very true. Also, in that image was the Batmobile.
The Batmobile.
What did you think of that?
My first impression was like, it kind of reminded me more of like the Tim Burton-y, like kind of like with the rounded front window, and like it looked like it had the big exhaust, and it looked mean. It looked cool, and that was exciting to see alongside the huge beefy Batman.
The dark, gritty Batman, which is another thing. The movie's definitely going to be dark and gritty. Like, Man of Steel was dark and gritty with Superman, so I can only imagine how much darker it's going to be with a character as dark and gritty as Batman is already. So
I guess it's a pretty dark story, though, being an orphan and sent. Like, the Superman story could be pretty dark, so like...
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. Makes sense. I just hope it has some substance to it, because I feel like a lot of Zack Snyder movies are style over substance.
Yeah, like
I hope that doesn't happen.
When we were talking about Man of Steel, it's like you don't really feel too connected to characters, other than like Zod at the end. And are you supposed to feel for him? I guess you are, but I mean, you never really feel for Superman.
I feel like he's the most sympathetic character in the movie, is Zod. Like, the whole time I was like, I want him to succeed, but I don't, because he wants to kill everybody. Yeah. But I understand, like, he's got such a great love for his people. He doesn't want to see them die out.
If he killed everybody, I would understand. Like,
I would go ahead, do it. So that wasn't the only comic book movie news this week.
If you've managed to find your shit since losing it for Batman, be prepared to lose it again.
Because Fox has officially announced who's going to be Gambit in the next X-Men movie.
And it is?
None other than Mr. Magic Mike himself, Channing Tatum.
I mean, everyone's excited. No, I don't know a person that's upset about that.
I think universally, everyone has agreed 100% with this announcement.
That's why it's such big news, because literally nobody's upset. I mean, the perfect casting.
So,
it's actually not the perfect casting.
What do you think of Channing Tatum as Gambit?
I think that we have to kind of break it down. What do you think about him as an actor in general?
In general,
solid.
He's one note to me, and
well, he's I think he has a few notes. I'm just gonna say he can play the jock, he can play the funny jock, he can play the like misunderstood jock, and then he can play like military guy.
Military jock? Would you say military jock?
Yeah, military jock, I guess.
Like, the first thing that I thought of when they said Channing Tatum was, I only see a soldier. Like, when I hear him and I see, like, his physique and his build and kind of just his features, I just see a soldier. Not Gambit, not like a charismatic, sweet-talking ladies' man. Just kind of see a soldier.
Yeah, I don't see the charisma that's necessary.
At all. And disclaimer here, like, I'm not super familiar with the Gambit from the comics. My main exposure to the character was the 90s cartoon, because we were both growing up around that time period, so...
I was going to say as well. That's mine. So if there's some diehard comic book fans, sorry, that if we're misinterpreting, we're just going off what our childhood raised us with.
Yeah, so...
I guess our childhood didn't raise us. We were raised in a childhood.
We had a childhood. I think that's...
I had one.
So, I kind of did a little bit of research and kind of thought about who I would choose for him. And I initially threw out to Dom, I said, just based on acting and being a ladies' man and being charismatic and what I've seen him in, was Ryan Gosling. And as I thought more about it, I was like, maybe he could pull it off, because he is a legit, really good actor. Yeah. But I have two other ones that I think are more well-suited. My first one, and this was my knee jerk, and this has always been like my knee jerk. You can't see my knee jerking. My first...
You're jerking his knee.
My very first reaction was Josh Holloway, who is Sawyer from Lost.
Okay. Because
the character of Sawyer on Lost is pretty much Gambit with no superpowers. Like, he's got the southern accent. He's always constantly, like, hitting on women. He's got, like, that mystique, like... I can be a badass when I need to thing going on. And the only issue with that is I don't think he's the greatest actor. Like, have you watched Lost at all?
I was gonna say I was gonna be eye candy, to sit here and look pretty while you talked about him, because I have no idea about Lost.
So after that, I did some more thinking and said, let's try to find another younger actor who can kind of do it and isn't so, because I feel like everyone says Josh Holloway because of Lost. So I was like, I'll think of someone outside of the box, and I thought of Jared Padalecki. I hope I'm not butchering his name.
All the Supernatural fans are gonna come at you so hard right now.
That's
not how you say it.
I hope I didn't butcher his name, but he plays Sam in Supernatural.
Yeah. Like,
just looking at pictures of him, he's kind of got the long hair, and when he's got the scruff, I'm like, I could totally see this guy being Remy LeBeau. That was my worst New Orleans accent.
Remy LeBeau. I don't know what kind of accent that was, but
it was a terrible one. I'm sorry.
Oh, Remy LeBeau.
I apologize.
That's a straight French.
That was legit French.
I was raised in France. I wasn't.
I could totally picture him as Gambit. Like,
yeah, he's already got the hair. I mean, that should be enough to cast him. I don't know why.
He's got a hair. He can grow a beard.
Yeah. Case closed.
Sold.
Case
I haven't
closed.
seen Channing Tatum
and he's not Channing Tatum. And Channing Tatum has a big blockhead. If you put long hair on a big blockhead, it's not gonna.
It's a block with long hair.
Yeah, it's not a nice face with long hair. It's a blockhead with block hair.
And I feel like
are we making a Minecraft movie with blockheads? Are we, or is this a Gambit movie with a normal person head?
I would say
the latter. Yeah, so I feel like, honestly, any of your suggestions are better options than using Channing Tatum. And it's like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to say he's going to do a bad job, because he could just impress us. He could just blow us away and do an amazing job.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to. And I don't want to be mean, but maybe this will be the fuel he needs. Everybody make sure he sees this video, and maybe he'll be like, those two guys I've never heard of, I'm gonna impress those two guys because they didn't think I can do it, but they did believe in me.
Yeah.
So
right.
they thought at the beginning I wouldn't be able to do it, but they believed in me, and I'm gonna do it now. But unless he sees this video, I don't think he's gonna do that good of a job.
Yeah, so it's really hard to tell. I have the whole Heath Ledger rule where I really hated that choice at first, and he gave us one of the best Jokers ever. So it's really hard to tell how it's going to turn out. Maybe Channing Tatum has a hidden reserve acting talent that no one's ever seen.
I'll wait for the perfect role, and then I'll release it.
So now, after you've heard us kind of rant and rave on what we think, we really want to know what you think. So
yeah, if you agree with us because you think we have great ideas, or if you're like, those were even worse than Channing Tatum, how could they think that? Then let us know what you think. I mean, we might agree with you, so let us know how you feel.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section how you feel about Gambit, the Batsuit, the movies in general, anything. If you just hate how we are, fine, let us know.
I hate your glasses and your face.
And that guy's always wearing a hat.
I don't like these guys, but I want to tell them that. I spent this whole video watching them so I could tell them how much I hate them.
And we'd love to hear that too.
I think it's going to be so... God damn it, I hate the way I talk. God damn it. Okay.
Holy shit.
I don't want to ramble too much, but I do.
That is what you do.
Okay, I'm going to fucking long story short. Here we go.